Hey everybody, Teresa here from Inspiration Cards, and I'm back to share another fun fold card. Now I'm not sure exactly what the name of this fun fold card is, and if you do know what it is, I would love to hear it, so drop a comment below. But let me flip this around and show you what we're going to be crafting today. So here's the card. As I said, I'm not sure what this fold is called. It's very simple, right? It's almost like a bit of a peekaboo card. I've set it up a little bit different. And in this one, I've actually used the Penguin Place stamp set from the July to December mini catalog. So one of my favorites, and was so excited when that one came back from last year's holiday mini. So here's the peekaboo. Of course, we've got the first one there, but the one I love actually the most, I put on the inside here when I added the antlers to my cute little penguin. Just love these guys. They're just so cute, super cute. All right, so what I'm going to do a bit of a different version with this one here. So I'm actually going to be using so with that one, I did Petal Pink. I did Pool Party with the silver and gold foil designer series paper that's part of Sale-a-bration right now. And for this card, I've got Petal Pink as my card base. And the designer series paper on this one is the Hues of Happiness from the annual catalog that's part of the Hues of Happiness suite of products. And I'm actually going to use the Hippest Hippos. This stamp set is actually one of the ones you can earn for free right now with a $60 order during Sale-a-bration. These guys, again, right, the penguins are cute, but these guys are super cute too. Been having so much fun crafting with these guys. All right, so I have the measurements here, at least for the big pieces. For your cutouts and things like that, I will leave that completely up to you. Some people, you may want to stick with the layering circles like I've done here, or you may want to switch it up and use something else. So like I said, I'll leave that up to you. But in the meantime, let's fold our card base in half. Now you want to come up a little bit shy of the other score line. There you go. I'm gonna get that nice crisp fold, my bone folder. And then if you come up a little bit short on that other score line, it actually makes folding over this flap so much easier. Kind of wishing I would have done that with my first card. All right, and then with this strip of designer series paper, I've attached it already. And all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab my paper snips and just flip it upside down so I can trim off those corners. And of course you wanna get as close as you can to the cardstock without actually cutting the cardstock, which I've done. So don't worry about it if you do. There we go. All right. So falls in line really nicely. All right, so let's do our stamping. So I'm gonna start with the large piece of basic white cardstock. And here's where our lovely little hippos come in. And with the designer series paper in mind, I'm gonna grab this guy right here. And I'm going to very strategically stamp this hippo. Usually when I'm stamping something on the inside of the card, right, I'll kind of do it along the bottom or in a corner. But sticking with the kind of peekaboo type element, I'm actually going to stamp it almost all the way to the right-hand side and in the center. And when I'm talking center, I'm actually going to place the head, my hippo's head, at center, right? Kind of with the idea that when you open this up, right, kind of just like with this one, right, the penguin inside also could be framed by that piece as well. All right, give that a little huff, right? Make sure it's nice and moist since I was talking. All right, so I'm not going right over to the edge, but I'm going to line up that head with about the center of that card. There we go. And I'm going to give that a second to dry. And I'm going to grab, here we go, one of my die cut circles here. And I'm going to actually stamp it one more time. And there we go. Here's our, I'm going to get that in the center of the circle as best I can anyways. And then let's set that off to the side to dry. All right, and so I've got my 2 pieces. My petal pink scallop circle is all set and ready to frame this guy here. And this is going to hold our sentiment. And there's some cute ones here, right? You're so hip, love you a ton. And then of course there's what, you know, the you're always on point goes with this lovely ballerina. I'm actually going to use the aw, you really are the best. Right? It's a nice kind of general phrase that you could use it for just about anything. You can use it for birthday. You can use it for really just about anything. All right, and I'm going to grab my petal pink here. Gently tap that on my ink pad. There we go. That's going to go right there. All right, now while that dries, I'm going to grab our interior hippo. And in celebration of watercolor month, and because I love coloring with watercolor pencils, I'm going to grab the basic gray and the melon mambo. Don't make a petal pink watercolored pencil. Stampin' Up, you gotta do something about that. So I'm going to use that to just color in my hippo here. And as much as I can, stick with circular motion so that way I don't end up with lines all over my hippo. And I'm going to do the snout a little bit lighter. If you want to smooth out any lines when you're doing your when you're coloring with your watercolor pencils, you can always, you can always use a watercolor painter. That is a great way to soften those. But if you're not, you don't have one of those, or maybe you don't want to go quite to that extent, you can actually use the blender pens, and that'll soften those, any lines from your coloring. All right, and so just like with my other one, I want my interior critter to be a little bit different. So I'm not actually going to color the one that's going to go on the outside. That's going to be framed by our little fold over. Here's that melon mambo in there, right? A little bit in the ears. There we go. Of course, we got to get that leaf. So I'll just grab a little old olive. There we go. So just a little something to kind of differentiate our two hip hippos. All right, so now we can get to sticking this all together. So I'm grab my Stampin' Seal and just run that along the back. And I'm sure I've said this before, but one thing I actually really like about the Stampin' Seal is because it's so strong, I don't feel the need to cover every single inch of that edge of my cardstock. With some tape runners, I've definitely felt like I need to do that. So see, there we go, right? Peeks out quite nicely. All right, and then I'm gonna grab my piece of Designer Series paper, right? You can just see all the great colors on this pattern paper. No matter what size you use with the Hues of Happiness Designer Series paper, it's gonna be pretty and it's gonna be colorful. Get my fuzzy edges. Here we go. All right, that's gonna go there. And our little plain hippo is gonna go right on the back. Right on that. There we go. Right, see? Lines up almost perfectly, right? You do it quickly, you don't really notice that they're slightly centered differently. All right, so this guy's gonna get layered onto my petal pink scalloped circle. And I just love how the layering circles, right? They just pair up so nicely. And I'm gonna pop this guy up. Right, you just need a couple dimensionals. I'm actually gonna add 3. Peel that off. There we go. And that's going to go down here in the corner. Right. So there you go. There are our 2 cards. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this week's card, and make sure you stay tuned for more tips and projects that I'll be sharing here by pressing the bell to get notified whenever I share a video here on my channel. In the meantime, you can check out my other projects and things that I share on social. You can find me at Inkspiration Cards on both Facebook and Instagram. And of course, you can check out my blog where I share projects and promotions and all things that are going on with Stampin' Up! And paper crafting and things like that. And of course, I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. So you can leave a comment below, or you can send me an email at inkspirationwiththeresa@gmail.com. And of course, don't forget to like and share this video and to subscribe to my channel. I know that's a lot to remember, but I appreciate every little bit that you guys do. See you soon.